DJ Bullhead, Nacho Man, Danielle. Fight, 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 fight. DJ Bullhead, Nacho Man, Danielle. Fight, 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 fight.
Yo. Check.
Yeah, we on?
We on.
All right. So we on for the second edition of the monthly Planass.
Boom.
With man like DJ Ballhead,
Oh yeah.
Danielle. And I'm the Nacho Man. Oh yeah,
Oh,
Nacho. So today we're gonna talk about gabing. Because gabing is a thing that people like.
Let's tell the good people what we're drinking here today.
We're drinking Botran rum. I think it's actually pronounced Botran.
How you say it's in Guatemala, man?
Botran.
Daniel?
Botran.
No, I mean Guatemala.
Guatemala.
In Guatemala, it's called Botran.
Guatemala.
Please, somebody.
It is Ron de Guatemala. It is Solera in
Alright. Somebody just
1893.
just open the bottle, please. Anybody.
This Botran is from the same distillery as the Ron Zacapa, the world famous Zacapa. So apparently it's
I believe it's pronounced Sakapa.
distilled 7,000 miles or something.
I thought he was going to say 7,000 times.
Meters or something. Then that would be
Let me picture it.
that would be something that they will clean.
It might be vodka. I mean, pure
Pure ethanol.
like that.
Right. Vodka, which we really don't have a definition of because you can apparently make it out of anything.
That was a real quiet opening there, boy, Dan. I thought you were
I didn't get the pop.
yeah. We can always get a pop-up, right?
Okay, pour your drink there, Nacho.
First drink for the season, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Nacho.
Now, mind you, I mean, all listeners out there might know this, but my gut's kind of bad right now.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the guts were really good, but the worst.
So I might disappear from this podcast for a few minutes after taking this sip of this.
Yeah.
which we could or could not edit out. I mean, depending on.
I mean, we should leave it for humor. I mean, because we need to up the score of 4 listeners right now.
4 users, actually 0. We have 1 subscriber on the YouTube channel.
Oh, sweet.
Respect.
All right, respect subscriber. We know your subscriber name.
Yo. I don't know if we should call names, should we?
All right.
No, we shouldn't.
All
Alright, so
how we smelling it?
Smells stink.
yeah,
Maybe we should add to the rest of it.
yeah, these Zacapa smell a lot better, but
But we let these a couple rest for a bit too.
yeah.
Which we didn't do for this one.
This one aged the same time, or is that younger?
18
18.
years.
Well, is it aged for 18 years, or is that the name of it? Like,
No, actually,
This one
so most of the rums I saw coming from this distillery tend to be blends. So the
Right.
oldest one could be 18.
18.
Right.
But sometimes it could be as young as 3.
And with
Yeah,
the
so-
Ron Zacapa, the oldest will be 23.
The oldest will be 23. For the
Right.
for the 23-year-olds, like up, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
That's a bit old.
Is this Solera Grand Reserva, the Zacapa, and this one is Sistema Solera. I don't like.
Okay.
Different.
You're very much off your mic there.
Oh, sorry. No,
No.
what's in is the Zacapa is Grand Reserva and the Botran is just Sistema Solera, so it's not Grand Reserva. So I guess that's the kind of difference. In
Don't know
terms of
what that's translated to.
it translates into, I guess, the age.
Perhaps.
Yeah, because like one is younger, 18. In terms of the oldest, rum in it will be 18 years, and then the Zacapa is like 23. So maybe it a little, I don't know, mellowed out the Zacapa and a little more
Yeah.
nicer, I suppose. But it's all in the taste.
It's only taste. I mean, right now as it sit for a while, I'm smelling.
It's smelling
Right,
better.
better.
I smell
sweeter.
a lot of I smell a
Yeah.
lot of sugar.
But it's made from sugarcane.
Pure, not molasses,
Oh.
right? Pure sugarcane.
It's-
Yeah, it's supposed to be
sugarcane?
sugarcane.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's definitely. It smells like a sugarcane plantation. After you burn it to cut the cane.
Wow.
Like a sugarcane plantation in St. Madeleine.
So while I was talking there, I take a taste there, and it not much, but to detect really sweet.
So, I mean, for reference, before we had the Zacapa 23, I think less of a syrupy mouthfeel than the Zacapa. So a bit lighter.
is definitely a lighter, like a thin
Lighter.
mouthfeel.
Yep.
And stronger aftertaste, right? You taste the stronger burn
And the
and alcohol.
burn, right?
Yeah.
And the alcohol flavor, like you get more of that
Mm-hmm.
in this one than in the
So the-
Zacapa.
So this is without any altitude. You know, add some.
Yeah, we had some
Like
water.
a splash of water,
too,
no?
yeah.
This I think is kind of along the lines of Tennessee whiskey way.
It a little harsher.
Like that
Like,
kinda-
like
Maybe
I don't know.
in terms
Like,
of harshness, but I don't. I mean, the whiskey will have a more distinct taste. I feel.
You think?
All right. So with water added, what's your feelings there? Why done?
I mellowed out a bit, so it a little easier on the palate and got rid of some of the afterburn that I was talking about.
I don't know if I'm feeling like a burnt sugar cane smell as I was talking about.
That's what I was smelling, like burn sugar again.
Yeah, some of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you get some of that in the aroma.
Yeah, as I add the water again, more of that.
But I mean,
So I wonder how
You
do
know-
they harvest that sugar cane in Guatemala? Because I mean, in Trinidad they will typically burn the cane
you
first.
can to get rid of the trash or whatever,
And
to make
well-
it easy to harvest.
Ruminants,
Yeah.
animals, pests in the sugar cane.
Yeah.
Right now, it not striking me as like a fine rum at that level. Like it kind of like that we would consider for like the El Dorado or the Zacapa or something. It like kind of like mid tier or something
Yeah,
like
I
that in
think
terms
so.
of how it
But
comes
I mean,
across.
it's not bad for sipping.
No,
but I
it's
mean-
not bad for sipping at all.
Yeah,
But it's
no,
not because it's not something I need to chase, or put a chase.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's just not giving you.
it's good rum, but I feel
Yeah.
it's probably more for like, it's probably good for shotting. Actually, like if you take this in a shot glass,
I mean, personally, I'm not a shotter
Yeah.
like you.
Way.
jeez,
Yeah.
You know, the P-rich folk among us.
we have no
Should-
idea
Should
what that
we say
reference
where
is
this,
about.
where this
So
very podcast is being recorded?
When
in
we
the-
actually coming to you live from
recorded live,
recorded live
Recorded live.
as all recordings.
from the rich town of Palm East.
Yeah. Rich
It's,
soils and
it's
rich
actually
people.
Palmist. I just want
Sorry,
to point out
my mistake.
it
Not
is
from this area,
pronounced
so
Palmist.
from
I don't know
Palm East, my
where
mistake.
a lot of people get the impression it is Paul Meast.
I guess I really missed out on that one.
That was actually the founder of Palmies.
No, I think it was a guy named Sir Lamont.
Was it named after the palms?
Indeed,
Oh.
yes.
Are there still any palms in
By the
National
by the
Palm East
Palmist Park, you'll see
'Cause
about three.
Just
about
three,
more. Yeah.
Alright, because I think maybe in the 90s, like late 90s,
It had a good
2000s,
few.
It was probably like at least 9.
Yeah, it had a good few. Now, it's have fires in that park ever so often.
But those plants endangered, if you want to say endangered. In that sense, because you don't really see those plants anywhere.
A
those
lot
trees
of
anywhere
a
else.
lot of the trees in that park are not native trees. They were actually brought across by Sir Lamont, and that's how that gets designated as a national park, because there are a lot of trees there that you can only find them there.
So
He went around the world and
I don't
being
know
rich.
anything- I don't know anything
not-
about
it's
this
not just
farm.
rich,
What
it's
does
not
this
just-
farm look like?
it's not just rich in
Tall
money, but
palms.
also rich in history in this place.
What?
What? We missed that
Is
part.
that just riches in terms of wealth? Is also rich
Oh,
history,
history,
Yeah, yeah.
culture.
Right.
which is something we can always advance.
So actually,
yeah,
like,
Culture is made
culture
to
should
be
be-
advanced. You can
yeah.
advance the culture, is what I'm saying.
for those of you who
Yeah.
use the Facebook, you can check the virtual museum of Trinidad and Tobago. Angelo Bissessa Singh's virtual museum of Trinidad and Tobago. Or there's a Trinidad there's a Palmas Historical Society too. You can check out. there's
External
a
guest.
resident here asking who doesn't use Facebook.
I actually don't use Facebook. I try to
Um,
use it once per week, but no more than that.
The
now.
bald head is a liar, I would like to say.
Actually, twice per week. I log in twice per week, and that's it.
I would like to call
You
as
could-
they say
you
in
could-
France, I would like to call a bullshit on that.
You could, but except if you notice when you tag me and stuff, I take real long to respond. Because I'll check and see stuff I tagged in from like 3 and 4 days prior. Because after our last podcast, I realized Facebook is a bunch of nonsense with all these cronies taking our information.
I think
That being said, I mean, if Facebook would like to sponsor what we do. It's no scene.
Well, they already know what we're doing. I mean,
Oh,
if
they already do.
They could reach out to us. Right? Just reach out to us if you like we're here on Facebook.
Or if any, if any distilleries want us to review their product, we're also happy to do so.
Right. What else can we say about this Botran?
It's nice.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I think it strikes a kind of mediocre chord, really. I think we had real high expectations going in because we had these Zacapa.
I was very excited based on the Zacapa, and because it came from the same distillery. That's why I picked up mainly. So, Nacho, what's your review on this rum? On the normal scale, not the natural scale.
On the normal scale. Because on the natural scale, I would give it like a 14.26 out of 27.
Right.
But I think on normal scale, I would give it like a 6.5.
I give it a solid 6 maybe.
I think I'd be like a 6 as well for the Botran.
Yeah. Would you buy it again?
No, I don't think so.
No.
What was the cost of this? Like, if you work it out in
I don't
US
recall,
dollars?
but I do think it was slightly more than the Zacapa 23.
Oh no, well,
Duty free.
Yeah. I mean, these Zacapa sound like a better bang for your buck.
Yeah. And it's only in duty free, or where did you pick it up?
Yeah, it was duty free. I didn't see this anywhere else. I didn't see it locally.
I never saw it. And it's local duty free, you got it?
Yes, in Piaco International, POS. It's not Port of Spain. It's in Piaco.
Yeah, so
All right.
that concludes this segment. So I think we could get into this week's topic. So
All right. So yeah, it's gaming, right? Electronic gaming. Covering it as a broad topic.
Extremely broad topic.
It's broad. I mean, that topic could be a whole series in itself.
It could, but for the sake of brevity, we wanna keep it to primarily. Are we talking about mostly console? PC, mobile.
Nostalgic.
I think what we're looking at is we're talking about competitive gaming,
Yeah, nostalgic.
retro gaming,
Yeah.
and I guess I don't know.
So you wanna give us some perspective, Nacho? What was your first gaming experience as a young man growing up in Trinidad
And Tobago.
and Tobago?
There was a mall in South Trinidad called Gulf City.
There still is a mall in Trinidad called Gulf City. Just saying.
Whose story is this?
All right,
So there was a small arcade at the time when I was young. So some of the older kids from where I grew up would take us out to movies and whatever when they go to drink beer and play bowling in the bowling alley.
What year was this around?
This would have been the late 80s, mid to late 80s. So there was an arcade there. I think it was Galactica. It was some form of
Galactica.
It was some form of Galactica or Galaxy Games. It was Galaxy Games.
Probably Galaxy Games, the early stage.
It was Galaxy Games. So there were a few machines there. A lot of them were actually pretty outdated for the time. So we were playing like 1982, 1983 games in 1987, 1988.
Like Asteroid.
Well, one of the games I enjoyed a lot was Vanguard. That Vanguard in the arcade. There was a game called King and Balloon. It's a ridiculous game where you save a king from getting picked up by balloons. So, so it was pretty outdated games in the arcade, but that was like my first taste of video games. Actually, there's a complete lie because growing up, I had some of them kind of handheld Pac-Man games too. But those were not very good. So the arcade games in Galaxy Games was like my first step into it. And then after we got Atari 2600.
So that was your first console, is it?
Atari 2600. Again, that was very late to it. The Atari 2600 was well into the mid 90s, early 90s. The early 90s. When NES was the norm there. So it was probably late 80s, early 90s.
What you done? What was your first foray into this gaming world?
Well, I remember across our primary school there was an arcade. So I think so it wasn't really an arcade per se. It was like a parlor with these two machines. So one was like Street Fighter, and then had like another area in the back with like Golden Axe and stuff like that. But I think that might have been a little later on.
That sounds
what
like
Nacho was talking about.
Yeah,
but
like early to mid 90s probably. When
yeah,
those games would have been available.
yeah. Other than that, like I didn't. It took a time before I actually owned a console. So it was like one of my cousins who had like the NES, and started playing like Mario and Contra and stuff on that. In terms of like handheld, I mean, there were a couple of handheld games that we had with real limited kind of functionality.
These
I
are these
remember
LCD games.
LCD games. I remember I
yeah.
had like a 4x4 one where it was like racing across, and you could like change
Yeah.
into big tires and crush cars and stuff like that.
Those were very shitty games.
But these were the ones
Yeah,
the
but-
display. If you actually look at this display from an angle, you could actually see the
Exactly.
You can see everything on
You
his
can see
You
everything.
can see what would, and they would just basically modify that pattern
Yeah.
for the entire game.
Exactly. So actually, we had like a couple of those, and that was gaming for a while as well.
Right.
But I do remember like for the Street Fighter arcade game that we had in the parlor across from my school, like a lot of people would go, well, kids would go across and play that and that kind of thing. And I remember at that point in time, it had like some rich kids in school, probably from Planass, and they would
Very
like
likely, yeah.
draw images of like Ryu and Ken and popular characters in the game.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Why would kids from Planass go to your school?
Wow,
That's a real good question.
that's such discrimination. I
Well,
mean, yeah.
Okay, please
They
continue.
would go to
about
somewhere
the-
like
Yeah.
what was it? Was
Yeah.
it was it premier school here? Cedar Grove.
the primary school.
Preschool. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Planass
the primary school is Cedar Grove. But I mean, I don't know much about private schools. You might be able to enlighten us on that.
I went to a private school. I mean, it wasn't in Palmis. Palmis, sorry.
All right, day Clarence. Anyway, so what these kids used to do is like, I don't know if you all experience this, but at some point in time, like people used to have like drawings of like Street Fighter characters and photocopied and like colors and everything. So these guys used to like fax the drawings to each other because they had like fax machines.
What?
Like I didn't know what the fuck was a fax machine at that point in time. I was
Yeah.
like happy to just have a telephone.
It's pretty much advanced in Presal.
So, like, they used to fax each other, and then they would have like these pieces of paper, and they would give it to different people to color in and that kind of thing. So, like, Street Fighter was real popular. I remember, like, people used to try to figure out what the characters were like saying for like the moves because like it wasn't like written out. And
Well,
like,
actually, it was written out because in a lot of the manuals that came with the game,
oh yeah, for the
it
moves.
was. But what was actually written would never correspond to what was being
What they were
said.
saying, yeah.
Because for a Hurricane Kick would be like Tatsumaku Sen Pukaku,
Yeah, that's it.
which is sound like
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And like even in
Hadouken.
the earlier Street Fighter games, Hadouken used to sound like. So like everybody used to say is that Wuget.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
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 So that would have kind of sum up my initial foray
experiences.
into gaming. Yeah.
I think my exposure probably would have started with my close friend from primary school who had a game because he had older siblings. I
Right.
think he was fortunate enough to have family who would travel back and forth from the States, so they would bring a lot of these consoles back. So I think it was only
What they were selling, or
no, it
Oh,
was just
yeah.
for personal use. Yeah,
what was it?
and maybe through him, that was my initial experience with NES, the original NES, and he was actually one of the first people I knew who had a PC as well. So this was like a old 8086, upgrade to 286, 386 kind of computer,
Mm-hmm.
and then actually introduced to some PC games, and I think I felt like I was able to see it evolve because he would have games, so it'd go from like a text-based type of game, and then a few years later he was able to get like a sound card, so he was actually able to get audio through a game,
Mhm.
which is like very interesting.
This was what a friend of yours.
yeah,
Is
friend,
it? Okay.
a friend of mine. Yeah. So this was
Um,
like
Oh,
late.
they're still friends, though.
He migrated.
Okay.
We
And his father was like a successful contractor or
he was
lawyer
a
or
business
something.
person. A business person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Business. business.
So yeah, they were. I mean, they were well off.
Mhm,
I know,
mhm.
no two ways about that.
Yeah.
So like from there, I guess this is late 80s, early 90s. I don't know. May have mentioned like Super Mario Brothers to my mom or parents, something like that. And I think eventually they got me an NES for Christmas. It would have been like Christmas 91
Mm.
or probably like 1991. I got my first gaming console,
Yeah.
which was different kind of experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even remember when I got my first gaming console. I think it's probably like much later on or something like that.
Was it like February this
'Cause
year?
we didn't. No. I didn't have like Super Nintendo and stuff like that as well. Because I used to go and play
Right.
that by like one of my partner house, from primary school, a wealthy individual.
I mean,
I think DJ Ballhead very familiar with this.
may have known him.
guy.
I mean,
Yeah. But yeah, so he had
He's a circumcised individual.
could be.
Okay.
Yeah. So
sounds better.
yeah, so he had a Super Nintendo, and we would have like left primary school lunchtime and go and sweat some Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. or
Sorry, so
something
you
like
would break school to go and
that. No,
play
it's
video
lunchtime.
games?
Lunchtime. He wouldn't. This individual was so wealthy. He would invite his schoolmates to lunch, and his mom would cook a feast.
Wow.
And then we would eat and then play Super Nintendo,
And then go back to school.
and then go back to school. after.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Yeah, yeah.
that,
Sounds
that's
like a
pretty
good-
rich.
Sounds like a good, very good childhood you had there.
Anyway, so that was like Super Nintendo, and then I had another like friend who I'd visit like summer vacations and on the weekends and stuff like that, and he had a Super Nintendo as well, and like a bunch of us will like play like pass the controller. So if you're playing like versus games, that's when I came across like games like World Hero and Star Fox and that kind of thing on Super Nintendo.
Right.
So, all right.
What-
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
the first console experience you had would have been which one?
Like it would have been not been like when I owned a console.
but
right, but
like,
any-
your
console
introduction.
introduction would have been NES.
Right.
NES.
Okay.
Yeah, and I never like the first time I saw a Sega was when I was visiting some relatives in St. Madeleine. I was telling Nacho about this,
Mhm.
and like when I saw Sega, I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Like I didn't know like it had another console, and then we were playing like Sonic, and like it just seemed so like compared to Mario, like
Awesome
so,
is what you're looking for.
I
no,
would say different.
it was like. Yeah, it was like a big difference between Mario and Sonic, which seemed real chaotic to me now. Like, cause if I was playing Mario, like, alright, cool, everything's sort of like predictable in terms of what happening and stuff like that. With Sonic, it's like,
Chaos.
yeah, chaos. Like you
Chaos.
lose. I mean, that blast processing
Blast
is something else. I mean,
processing.
it will just blow your mind. So I think my mind was blown. Basically, mind blown.
It was
With
blasted.
this blast, it was blasted. I was mind
Your mind was
blasted.
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 I was mind blasted by the processing of this console, and yeah, but that's what it would have been like. It would have been NES, small little Sega when I would visit like my relatives, and then I think SNES was like what occupied like a lot of our time. Like we
Yeah.
spent like a lot of time, so that would be the first kind of console that we spent any time on.
Actually, I do remember
Yeah.
playing some Sega, because like we had taken a trip to the US in 92, 91, 92, and some of my cousins, they actually had a Sega hooked up to a black and white TV, but the game I believe was Golden Axe.
Golden Axe was the game that
Was it
came with the
Golden Axe?
first. Yeah.
Perhaps,
no,
yeah,
not
yeah.
Golden Axe. No, it was Altered Beast.
Yeah, that's it.
Altered Beast was the
Altered Beast was the-
first game that came with the Sega Genesis when it was released back in '89.
Right. So that's what
There
they
was a
would have.
16-bit console in
That's what they
1989.
would have hooked up to a very small, like a 10-inch black and white CRT TV.
Shit,
And but I mean, it was
10 inches.
I guess it's just something new, something different.
Yeah,
Play with.
10 inches, you say?
So, well, yeah, I guess.
That's real thing.
It's still pretty big, yeah.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
10 inches diagonally or
Well, however you measure yours.
You know, whatever you like, there, Nacho. What
Yeah.
whatever you're into.
right. Yeah, but like about the growing up on video games thing, we were exposed to something in San Fernando. It was very close to this.
Like-
I think it's Presentation College or some kind of school like that.
Best
There was
school,
something
best
called the
school, yeah.
Nintendo Power Center, which just became the Power Center over
yes,
time.
yes, yes.
And they had all the consoles. They had
Shit.
Sega Genesis, they had Super Nintendo, there was a Neo Geo there. And there were a few other consoles that we
Was it
didn't
some
really know
elite
about.
club or something? Or
No, it's
No,
just
no.
a place you
P?
pay by the minute.
Or minutes?
Well, yeah.
Hourly or something?
No, by the
By-
minute,
by the
by the
minute.
minute.
Oh,
So
I see.
there's a certain amount you can pay for 5 minutes, a certain amount you can pay for half an hour, that kind of thing. And there were timers that would shut it off.
It's like the console equivalent of like an arcade.
No, it was
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
consoles on like some kind of timer, like a power timer or something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
basically, you pay for it. They have it set up. Sometimes it'd be like Like they rig their own kind of arcade style cabinets.
They
Right.
did that. They did that
But
for the
it's-
Neo Geo. They did
Yeah.
it for. There was one cabinet that used to swap Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo with as well. That was an arcade style cabinet that I rigged up. It was pretty cool. It's a good way to you know not to fail your
Experience
exams.
Experience console, like if you didn't
But
own
yeah.
one, right?
That's right. So a lot of kids in San Fernando were exposed. San Fernando, Trinidad, West Indies were exposed to the 16-bit consoles through that power. It was originally Nintendo Power Center, and then it just became the Power Center
Yeah. I thought it was just
or the Power
Powerhouse.
Outlet
I think it's Powerhouse.
or something. Yeah,
Powerhouse all around.
yeah. They dropped the brand from it because they
We
they
just-
basically had everything after a while.
I don't know anything of this, but I know like it had places at some point in time where you could go and play consoles for like 30 minutes or something. You could
Right.
buy a time and then you could play. So,
Video SS in Gulf City Mall, the aforementioned Gulf City, and
Jerome's.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. So
classic
they
Jerome's, yeah.
started it like that, you know, of in South at least.
Well, they used to actually sell consoles and video games. And
They actually used to
maybe-
rent games as well, so you could
well,
test the game before you rent it.
yeah.
Awesome.
So that kind of, I mean, they already had the console set up there, so they said, right, well, let's charge to play it. Does anybody want to play?
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty good. They had set up like competitions. I think they were the first. You're gonna get into competitive gaming. So the first competitive gaming I ever saw was one of those Jerome's Super Mario competition.
Oh, cool.
Nah, the first kind of competitive gaming, well, not really competitive gaming, but like saw like the competitiveness in gaming would have been in like arcades. So it would have been
Right.
in that same arcade game across the road from the school where it had like men who would like be challenging each other and like fighting. But when I really see it at like a different level, it was like 2001 Plaza in Shogunas, where like the biggest screen, so it had like a bunch of arcades around, but there was like this big screen that you would have like Street Fighter or what's that game with like Cinder and the
Mortal Kombat.
no, not Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct.
Right, Killer
Ah.
Instinct. So like whoever game was trending at that point in time, they would have it on a big screen, and then you would see like real men coming from like all over and then challenging each other and like keeping the game then. So like that's when I like see like a lot of that. Like I had like partners who would jump in and try to challenge and that kind of thing. I mean, I wasn't at that level, so I said let's look and watch it. But it was intriguing to me to see like wait, like real men just repeatedly coming after each other and like trying to challenge and fight each other and that sort of thing.
I mean, I mean, most of those games would kind of work like that though, because it was
Yeah.
always a very competitive kind of thing to see who
Yeah.
could beat somebody at. But I mean, aren't most games, I mean, even real world games like that, no? Isn't there always a winner or loser? Or
No,
somebody who's
no,
better?
that's something that's different in video games because there's also the co-op games. So I was talking to Daniel here earlier this week about the pass the controller games, and he's asking what was my pass the controller game. I told him it was Streets of Rage on Sega Genesis. That's it's a good beat 'em up pass the controller game, and that is actually co-op games. It's cooperative games.
I mean, Golden Axe was a good team game as well because like four
Yeah.
players play the same objective, like some of the Turtles games and stuff like that. I
Correct.
remember that one in the airport where you like jump in or the X-Men game as well.
Right, X-Men and Turtles. They had the
Yeah.
four-player cabinets,
Four-player
in, the,
cabinets, yeah.
in the arcade. So yeah, so they're not all competitive. You have to work together sometimes, like with those co-op games.
No, but the competitive game was like, I mean, that brought like a different level of skill. Like you could see like these men like work on these games over time and develop like a set of skills. So like my initial kind of experience with Street Fighter is like just trying to get the moves, trying to get like a uppercut, trying to get like a magic or whatever and that kind of thing. But or whatever it's called. But like
Aggregate.
Believe it was a
Hadouken. And then when I see these men now, like it was much more like strategic now. Like what these men like flipping, kicking, tripping, like two like kick and then a trip and that kind of thing. So I was like,
so
they like had a totally different skill level I ever saw before. Like
yeah, the men
Yeah.
who were good at those games actually understood the physics of the game. Like my brother, if we was to play him, you know, you'll see how different it is when you play somebody who understands the actual physics of the game.
yeah, rather than trying to do special moves.
Rather than trying to do special.
So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe for some of these men, it's just a different level of interpretation of what you know,
Yeah.
what your input is and what's actually happening on screen to the point where they'd actually develop some kind of feel for
Yeah.
what would happen on, you know, if I do this here over. But then, you know, some of these men you can look at, especially in arcades, you can look at them and you can see it's like this very methodical approach to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were ever conscious of it, but you look at them and it's just like a very specific reflex for what's happening, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just 100% automatic on their part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good
And they used
players.
to just go through these games with like, you know, just real finesse. And it was just like an effortless thing for them at some point in
Right.
time.
The good players with the competitive games too, where you have the 6-button layout, is that they would actually have a claw. They wouldn't move their hand from a certain
Yeah.
position. It's like a professional typist typing.
Fingers, yeah.
Right.
They would just hold everything in one position and they wouldn't finish.
Because
from
that would be typical joystick 6-button kind of layout,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, but what's interesting as well is like at that point in time, like you could be cool or respected on your gameplay.
Right.
So like for instance, you could be like a nerd or like look anyway or whatever, but like based on your skill level, like people will respect. Hey, look, that man come through, but nobody gonna beat you, but like, watch yourself or something like that. Because like this man, like would have been like so good at the game now, and that would have been like respected. So, like I thought that was kind of like intriguing now, because like you wouldn't like look at somebody like that outside of the scenario and be like, hey, all right, cool, that's a cool guy or something.
Yeah. That's a good point. Everybody can be an arcade hero. That is true. Except in certain arcades, like again in San Fernando, Trinidad, West Indies.
Yeah.
There was certain arcades you really don't want to go, but they had the best games. Chicken Roost. Right? San Fernando.
Do you recall that game?
Chicken Roost,
No.
the arcade, had all the best games. But Chicken Roost, you have to buy extra tokens, because that way you'll escape getting robbed by just giving them your money. So
I was never, I mean, I did remember being fully engaged in an arcade game and some men tried to pick my pocket, and I realized that what they were doing, because I caught them, I could feel some reaching the pocket.
which arcade was this? You'd say?
This was in said Galaxy Games,
Same.
Gulf City?
or the precursor to Galaxy Games in Gulf City, Trinidad.
West Indies.
You ever try to cheat games like arcades like flatten 5 cents or like put a hole put a hole in a string and then try to,
A friend of mine,
and then pull it back out.
a friend of mine might have done it using a pallet stick for the games that had the not the horizontal coin in, but it was
Right.
some that had like a vertical
Diagonal.
slit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You could actually, I was told you can actually take a pallet stick and just stick it up and get
And
as
then
much
get credits.
credits. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I see.
So we touching on some of like the older games that we play, like games that brings some sort of nostalgic feeling to us. But like now, we're seeing like those games making a comeback with like emulators coming up, and then even in PlayStation Network now we have like new Sonic and stuff like that. So
But
I mean,
Before we jump to that, though,
yeah,
give us your progression of consoles through the years that you owned.
Atari, Genesis, Sega Saturn, PS2, PS3, PS4.
Oh, Palm Switch. What you done?
that I own.
That you owned, yeah.
I think my brother had like he had more consoles than me, but I mean we still live in the same house, right?
Right. So you can come
Yeah, so he would have had like Dreamcast.
no, so from your first console, going.
Yeah, that's from like the first. 'Cause
Your
we
first console was
didn't,
that.
we didn't own any console. Like we would play by like different people.
Okay,
Like,
right.
we didn't own like my parents wasn't gonna buy a console for me.
Sure.
So, but like my brother, like he had like a Dreamcast. Then he had a PlayStation 1,
Alright.
PlayStation 2, and then I bought the first console I bought was a PlayStation 3. Right? That was the first console that I bought.
Yeah.
And I did some gaming on computer, so I had like Diablo and stuff like that, like Duke Nukem and that kind of shit. And like,
For me, I think it would have been
PC.
NES, Super NES,
yeah.
and then it was a big long break. And then I think after I finished university, I said I was gonna buy myself a console. So I went to PS3 and then Xbox One and PS4. And then there was also always some element of PC gaming
Yeah.
somewhere in between.
Right, yeah. PC games were like a constant throughout. I mean, I didn't really have or play much PC games, but It was had one or two in between that. That would
Well,
be
I
there.
should say in between because I got my first PC probably around 1997,
Mhm.
and then even from then, you know, they always had like these MS-DOS games. They always get these like these CDs that would come in
Yeah,
magazines
yeah,
that
yeah,
would have like
yeah.
game demos.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily have the full game, but I would play some of the
Right.
game and then, you know, move on to the
I
next
think
one after.
the
But the
demo
CD, the full throttle CD came with a demo of Star Wars Dark Forces in your
Yeah.
Windows
Don't believe
95.
that. You know,
The demo
Yeah.
of Duke Nukem was probably like the first game I remember playing on PC.
A classmate in secondary school would have had Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
There was at a time where, you know, you could lend somebody a game,
Yeah.
install it in your PC. So
I didn't run it.
I would have, I think did have Duke Nukem on, and I know on Windows it have things like Monster Truck Madness that came with with the PC. That was like a Microsoft game.
Right.
And then I
Yeah.
just had these random games in between, like the
Yeah.
classic Doom.
I realized
Yeah.
we actually didn't touch
Duke
Um,
Nukem was
Unreal.
real.
PC games.
Duke Nukem was real vibes though.
It
'Cause
was
they could go to the
yeah.
strip club.
That
then they could give
was
money.
what everybody remembers about.
Shake it, baby.
Quake if it, you know,
Yeah.
if you all remember Quake.
Yeah.
Descent would have been around
Descent
that
was
time, yeah.
a decent game. Sidewinder from Microsoft, I think. Was that? Yeah,
No Sidewinder was a type of controller.
it was, but I think it was specifically for a game. I can't remember the name of the game. If anybody if any of our listener
Well,
remember
if you
it,
want
let us know.
subscriber, if you remember.
They want to subscribe. I remember that game like shipped with Microsoft.
Yeah.
But these were some of the early stages of PC gaming where 3D wasn't really a big thing yet. Like in terms of texture mapping
Yeah,
and
yeah.
light and all these things. Like it wasn't. So it was pretty
Yeah.
much
Flat
software.
shaded polygons.
You didn't have to have any big set of hardware. And in fact, you couldn't
Processing.
have any big set of hardware because these things were on like Pentium 1 CPUs with 100 megahertz, 133 megahertz,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
you could overclock a little bit.
8 megabytes of RAM. What we dealing with over here? My PC actually did have a video card. It was like it was from Diamond Multimedia, I think. May have been like a 4 megabyte.
Big up the Diamond.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, if Diamond's still around and want to sponsor us, and we're up to that.
Yeah, and it could. I think it could do things like it could decode MPEG video, which is something that's just done on the fly by modern day CPUs.
Yeah.
And one of the videos that came into was actually
Weezer?
Body Holly
Yeah,
by Weezer. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
good video.
yeah. That's the Windows 95 video.
Yeah.
Weezer's a good band too. If they want to sponsor us or anything, that's cool.
Yeah.
I might sponsor us. I mean, tickets, anything.
Well, I'll take some tickets to a Weezer show. Rivers,
Rivers.
hit us up.
Hopefully, our one listener is in Weezer.
He isn't. Sorry.
Sound
Might
like you
in
know
fact
this man.
be a
man.
relative.
You know this one.
Oh.
Oh yeah. There you go. Twist his arm to subscriber.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Anywho, so something that we left out about the PC gaming when we talk about first game experiences. I had a neighbor who was very into his PC, so
What do you mean, like that? A
he-
relationship? Or?
I don't. I mean,
That was before the time.
you know the individuals, so
Yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
I know this guy, yeah.
he might.
Mm.
He
Alright,
might,
go
he might
ahead,
relate to that.
All right. Yeah.
I think he did have a. So he was really into his games, and he had like some good games for PC. It was Prince of Persia.
Oh, see.
There were some of the text-based games, Leisure Suit Larry, which I don't think we were already
Wait,
supposed to play.
It had like a Prince of Persia before like the PlayStation version.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, it was
shit.
actually like
I
very-
don't know.
very
See, I don't know all
old
that
game.
shit. Yeah.
Nah, but he continue. He also did a bit of programming in QBasic, so he actually built some homebrew games, and we talking early '90s homebrew games. So that was like cutting edge stuff. Yeah. So this guy, he did his homebrew games, right? So you all know the Neo Geo game King of Fighters,
Yeah.
the King of Fighters series.
Yeah.
So he did his programming in QBasic. So he did the King of QBasic Fighters. Well, it's cool. It had like 2 super moves or something. You know, characters looking like squares and lines. Pretty good stuff. So yeah.
Wait, so you sweat that with him or something? Oh,
Yeah, well, on a keyboard, yeah.
awesome.
How old was this individual at the time?
External party. How old do you think Crockett would have be when he was programming them games?
Oh, old.
Nah. Yeah. You'll be like in somewhere between Form 3. Form 1 to
Shit.
Form 3.
Oh, this man is a genius. So.
Oh, a nerd.
Whoa!
Wait.
Oh, both. I mean,
I mean, there's no. You don't have to be either or. You can be both.
yeah, it's 2019, man. I mean, although I was like 1990 something.
I mean, look at you. You're 30 something now and you're still a dude. So.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
Eh,
what does you want to be? A bad man or?
Could that be worse? It could be a dentist or something. So.
Anyway, let me take it away from this violence. Let me move back to
Right.
the earlier discussion.
You raised a good point earlier about the
yeah. The nostalgic
retro
gaming.
games and consoles
Yeah.
and all this,
Yeah.
right? So.
Because I think there's like a lot of people back then who couldn't afford certain things and were aware of certain things, and now we are in a place where we could now we are in a place that we could afford certain things, and we could go back now to some of the things that we wanted as a child that couldn't get. And luckily, some of these companies that produce the consoles are recognizing that and then going back and building out consoles. So we saw there was a version of the SNES.
Well, the NES Classic
no,
was
the
first.
NES, right? The
Classic
NES,
was first, yeah.
right? Miniature version, and then the SNES, and now there's a Sega coming out.
Yeah, and there's also
Yeah.
the Sega Mini is out next month, but there's also a TurboGrafx Mini, a Neo Geo Mini, and some other retro console that nobody even wanted, Amiga or something.
But the people who buy these consoles, though, are they people who would have wanted it back then and couldn't afford it, or people who had the console at some point in time, played the games, and then want to buy it now to be able to re-experience those games? Because, I mean, talking about personal experience, that's actually why I went back, for the SNES. I, in a very foolish move, sold off my SNES with some of the games I had. But the thing is that the games on our console and the time spent on our console, a lot of it is actually spent with family, my close cousins, and a lot of the memories that we had were actually kind of associated with that time where we would sit down and play games together.
Yeah.
So it was like a very interactive experience, and when some of those games I played them now, it just kind of takes me back to those times. Like even when we up to yesterday or the day before, we were sending each other links, like YouTube links to some of the soundtracks for these games, and just like these were such great games. And I mean, at the time it was was nice, fun music as well.
Right.
But I think what just kind of brings us back to every single time would just be those times that we had together.
Yeah.
Because it was like music that would kind of define that time, just like how 90s music would just take you back to that era.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, I would say like both, but I think similar to your experience, most of the people who are purchasing those games are the ones who want to relive that past and the experience they had before. Because like if you didn't have it, like maybe it's not something that you want now, because you would have had exposure to like other consoles in the future. It's like me. I mean, later on, like I had much more exposure to say like PlayStation or something like that than to NES console. So I didn't feel the need to go and acquire an NES console to go and play Mario 1 or something like that, or Super Mario 3. Although, I mean, Super Mario 3 is good gaming. Like I did play a lot of Super Mario 3 and other games like that. But I feel like I moved on from that per se, and I didn't really have that much of an experience with those consoles. So I think I would lean more towards those who had the experience, who's trying to like recover.
I guess it's kind of hard to miss what you never really had, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's both. I mean, I myself personally want to own all.
Already,
because you have the means to. I mean,
No, but I think it's because I was kind of exposed to all to some extent as well, and it's because of that Nintendo Power Center or Power Outlet or whatever they call it. Because of that, I was kind of exposed to all, and then I would have like neighbors and friends who had different things. So I have memories attached to a lot of those old consoles. And about the whole retro movement that's happening now, like you rightfully said, is people reliving their childhood. Is not limited to video games. So there's retro everything. In the toy market right now, the same toys that we played with growing up, the reissues of those actually sold on the package says for adult collectors. It's the same toys we played with as children. The same exact thing that they reproduced, but it's for
Travel
adult
Fox.
collectors. Travel Fox sneakers. I think it was probably awful sneakers, and I was never fortunate enough to own one, and still can't because the reissue is very expensive.
Yeah, but Nacho, you seem to have made it a project of yours to actually go back and acquire some of these older consoles in their original forms,
Yes.
and have your own setup.
Yes.
Now, why? I mean, you do have a few of the reissues and like I would say like the emulators up, and where you could go back and play some of the original games. But you personally actually went and tried to. You have been building this collection for like some time now.
Yeah, I like original hardware. The emulators are good, I mean, they're all nice and everything, but I just like the feel of the original hardware.
You're not a fan of like silicone breast or anything?
Not at all, actually. I do like silicone breasts, and I'm a big fan of too much heavy makeup,
Well,
weave, thing like that.
Wow.
So,
But just like silicone, all silicone,
yes, not necessarily on a woman's chest.
right.
more like a PCB kind of form.
Yeah.
Keeps it real,
Yeah.
man.
Get them?
That's not true. Keeps it real.
Oh yeah.
So, but how do you feel about like these new, I don't know what to call it, the versions of like the SNES or the NES or the Sega and stuff like that versus like the original version of it? I mean, you have the original version of some of the games. Like, would you still go out and like acquire? I mean, one issue might be the amount of games that these new emulators coming out stacked with, as opposed to you having an original console and then trying to acquire all the games, and then the games will work, and then they had to spray things in it and blow it and then hit it a lash and
Well, there's any beauty of it, Daniel. That's the beauty of original hardware.
Authenticity of
yeah, I mean the authenticity of it, but I mean
gaming.
we
But
can have all these
most of the memory was spending half of your free time blowing out a cartridge with the work.
yeah, I remember those. And then with the NES in particular, at some point in time, you would have to put something above the cartridge to hold it down.
To pin it down, yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. What used to work as well is if you take a matchstick
Yeah.
and stick it just right between where the clamp and the cartridge is, that would also work just as well. When you find that putting a cartridge on top of the cartridge doesn't work in the SNES. I find that, I'm not sure why SNES chose to have that kind of draw. Why NES had that kind of draw set up to begin with, rather than just a normal cartridge you pop in. But I guess it was nice and sleek looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. There's retro everything, and it's not just the repro systems. But to answer your question about how I feel about the consoles out right now, the officially licensed ones are pretty good. The NES and SNES, Nintendo did an incredible job with those. They play great, and
I saw the controllers and they're like almost exactly
Legit.
same.
Feel
It's
almost
the same.
like the same thing.
Mhm. And a problem you usually get with with emulated games, or even if you run a original console on a modern TV, is that there's a lag. There's a split-second lag, but still enough to mess up your gameplay considerably, especially if you're doing like speed runs and that kind of thing, and blast processing.
Yeah.
But but it was they somehow compensated for that lag. So the NES and the NES were great. By all reviews, the Neo Geo is good. The
Sega is coming out.
sorry,
Yeah.
the TurboGrafx is good. The Neo Geo have some mixed reviews about it, and the initial, I don't think they're allowed to call them reviews. Sega sent out some consoles to social media influencers and YouTube channels and whatnot,
Yeah.
who do reviews. So they're not allowed to do a review, but they could do first impressions. All the first impressions were great as well. So it seems as though the Sega Genesis Mini going to be good. The quality should be what we expect, and what we saw with the SNES and the NES.
But I mean, to be fair, I mean, it shouldn't really be that hard to recreate some of those things now, because you have had it as, you know, a million times more powerful. So I think it's just about getting your software right and just recreating the controls.
Yeah, the
because
problem
the controllers
is
would have been an existing design that they would have had. It's just to get back to manufacturing, because the design would have always been there, you know.
Okay. So, like, part of gaming is that you could become a different character and enter an entirely new world. And for us, I mean, like, as youths trying to play in these new games, it could be like Mario, it could be Sonic, and like you're in a totally different world apart from where you currently exist, regardless of like how you feel or where you at that point in time. Now that has been taken to like a whole new level now, where you can actually build your own character, and we easing into this multiplayer online world, like World of Warcraft and RPGs and stuff like that, where you have your own character, you're interacting with people online, and like, you know, it's difficult to see the bridge or the divide now, where there are certain people who actually prefer to be in our online world as opposed to like the real world as well. So that is like the new transition of gaming, because before we would have played game and there wouldn't be so much of an attachment of it. You play a game and then you put it down and then that's it. You go back to real life. But now it's almost as if real life is not that much desirable in comparison to the game world. So, not true.
Well,
no, I mean,
what I'm thinking here, Daniel, is that this is a discussion beyond gaming, because I mean, virtual reality is becoming a big deal right now. Virtual reality is becoming cheaper and more accessible to everybody. So this could pose to be a challenge. However, this is a symptom of something deeper. This is
society.
This is society, and this is people's mentality you're talking about here. This is, I think, beyond the scope of gaming.
Well, what is the thing is, we have to factor in here is maybe the individuals or the personality types who would kind of retreat to this virtual world, you know, to exist in. There are a lot of people who, you know, fairly good with reality and could get by or get along socially. Is it that some people have a difficulty in interacting with, you know, socially or real people, and they just think is an easier way to try to exist in a virtual world, in this, you know, this case where you have, you know, because at the end of the day, you have all these virtual characters, but in a lot of these MMORPGs or a lot of these MMO games, at the other end of the console or the other end of the computer is actually another individual.
Yeah.
You know.
So I think that there are some like parallels based on the discussion we had in the last podcast, in terms of like the ability of these new social media platforms to be able to help bring people together, like with similar interests and stuff like that. So in this case, I mean, people with similar interests, maybe they have difficulty in different social settings, and they find some sort of calmness or the ability to interact a little bit easier in like our online world. But in this case, like, it's much more interactive than just like posting stuff and having discussions. You could actually live through a character.
So I think that there's some good and some, but I could be wrong. I think I remember reading something about this, but I think in some cases where, you know, they did have like mental health issues or, you know, things like depression and so on. Games were actually shown to be beneficial, you know, and at least having like an online community, because where it was actually difficult to interact on a social level with some people in the real world, you know, playing some of these games provided like enough of a platform for escape, and then you would actually be able to interact with other individuals online, you know, and sometimes like these team-based kind of games where you have to cooperate, and it would actually be rewarding and helpful for some of these individuals. I could be wrong. I can't remember. You know, if any of our listeners hear this, you could just just correct me on this one.
No, I think that should be like fairly accurate, but like it's all about the balance, because like sometimes you get the sense that like some people are just living in reality just to get the means to go back to what would be their real life, but only it's a virtual life. But like there's so much focus on that part of it that they only popping into reality just to, you know, get the financing to pay your internet.
Yeah, just doing what you need to do.
We're just doing what you need to do to ensure that you could continue in this virtual reality, because that's truly what matters, not really. So I think if you understand that there is like you do truly live in the real world, and this virtual reality is just a break or like a means for you to interact with people, and perhaps through those interactions you could actually start interacting with those people in real life, then that's okay. But like if you are just looking at the next time, or you just can't wait till the next time that you get back into your virtual life, that could be somewhat
That's
troubling.
probably where we have like some kind of problem happening.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I don't know if you have any kind of data for those kind of
Actually, I think
individuals or
that
people who live it.
could be a separate podcast. I think it should be in itself. That whole virtual
It could-
immersion.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but is
virtual. I like it's a good term to use on it.
Yeah.
You coin out yourself or that's somewhere.
It's a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, I think that's a very large part of gaming now, though. Like that's where it's sort of like headed. In terms of that sort of like more virtual reality. You have like Sims
Yeah.
and stuff like that, where people trying to like live out their life in some alternative reality. And then World of Warcraft, I think, was like the one that really.
I think some people still stuck in World of Warcraft. I think some
No,
people
yeah, I
didn't
mean,
Wow.
yeah, like
But
yeah,
then I wanna pull it back to it. So like
yeah.
in terms of your current game experience in 2019, where are you with that? And like what is the place for games in your life, or you know, how do you see this fitting into your current life? Because you're actually like a hardworking individual with a real job, you know, family life. Like how does gaming actually fit into your life right now, and like what kind of gaming actually are you into?
Yeah, so like I have a PS4 console now,
Right.
and I would say like 90% of the use of that console is more for like Netflix and like streaming video and stuff like that, YouTube and that kind of thing, on my TV, as opposed to gaming.
Right.
Because I have a family now, and like I work like 9 to 5 now, so but I have to drop off my son to school, and then I come home pretty late, so
working 9 to 5.
so it's kind of difficult to find the time to actually game now. Right? So,
But why do you still game now? Like, was the benefit here?
it's
What
like
what do you see like as a
Oh,
the pro to gaming for you?
like the I don't
trying
know,
to
it's
say
like a
game
good
pro,
release to
right?
me, because like right now the only two games I play fairly regularly will be like FIFA 19 and then
don't judge.
Black Ops 4.
Oh God.
Right, so
Wow.
no, I mean those it kind of factors through in terms of my choice of games, because like the games I want to choose to play will be the games that I know that are gonna have like a lot of gameplay on. So like I know I'm gonna play a lot of FIFA. I know I'm gonna play like probably a lot of Black Ops Online whenever I get the chance, and I want to also be able to not have this long kind of campaign that gonna take me such a long time. So like God of War, thing like totally out of the question, because like would I ever get the time to beat out that game? Even like Uncharted, which is like one of my favorite franchises, like I capped out at 3. Like the last Uncharted I played was 3. I didn't even play 4 yet, because like I just worried like when the hell I gonna get the time to really play out 4 now?
Daniel, take a week off from work,
Yeah.
vacation leave, and please play Uncharted 4.
No.
You'd find it's the best game you'll ever play.
So that is the thing. Like I'm limited to games that I could just take a little truck day, or like play like a 1 game or 2 game or something. So like I could do that. I could do a team deathmatch in Black Ops 4, 2 or 3 games, and then go and sleep. Or I could take a few games of FIFA, play a few matches, and then like call out Georgia. But to play like a full campaign or to go through a full story mode. Like, I'm not sure how I'm gonna find time to do something like that. So that's my limit in terms of gaming right now. Time, really.
So, I mean, for you, it's more like it is entertainment.
Yeah.
But also is like a form of relaxation, and say, by being able to have some kind of escape into a virtual. I mean, of course, with some kind of balance, not like you're relying heavily on living in this virtual world, but it's more like a relaxation kind of thing for you, you would say.
Well, I'm a real girl living in a serial world. Just want to put that out there. But anyway, like I know. But
why we had to go there?
Go home, Daniel. You're drunk.
Nah, but
Maybe.
like I don't think I get my relaxation from gaming per se. I rather go and play football or something like.
You mean real world football, not
No,
football.
like real world football. Like if I had to get relaxation from anything, it will be real world football. Like I really love playing football and kicking down people, and that gives me such a
Daniel,
really
I don't know much about sports, but I'm pretty sure football is not about kicking down
The
people.
good thing about amateur sports and playing for fun is that when you kick down people, there's no cards, there's no really real ramification. You can just say sorry and you can move on, or say like, hey, hard luck, their partner. I don't really mean that, even though you did mean it. So, but it's all a cool scene, and the most that will happen is somebody will be like, hey, horse, it's not that kind of game, Dread. Calm yourself down. And I'll be like, yeah, all right, sorry. But then you just move on. So, that I don't really see gaming as a real release for me. I mean, back in the day when I was playing like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 running, I think it was more of a release because like I didn't really have like family or anything like that to worry about at that point in time. So I had more time to dedicate towards both like football, actual football, and to like gaming and that kind of thing. But now that I have limited time, like in terms of like the potency or the efficiency of getting relaxation from something, I would say like football or like running or exercise or something like that.
Now, I mean, if you think about gaming from like the early 80s, early 90s, from where we had started to now, some of the differences actually would have been in the interaction of it. So, where we had things like a 1-player, 2-player game.
Yeah.
If it was a 2-player game, it was actually usually somebody right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Share on the couch, right?
Yeah.
And thanks to the magic of the internet, a lot of that has changed now to whoever's connected to you via, your online connection. In that sense.
Do you guys play with your friends a lot?
Well, we had a talk this week, and we had talked about playing this game Wipeout on PS4.
Yeah.
And
no, but not true. Like, you play a lot, but I don't get the sense that you play online a lot with your friends and that
I
kind
don't
of thing.
play online much, and when I do,
Right.
it's actually with my friends.
Okay.
It's with people I know.
so we
Because you fear of getting brutal licks, and you think that your friends not that skillful, and they will take it easy on you.
Boy, some of them skillful, like the aforementioned guy who used to program games and things.
Right.
But I still like I feel okay getting licks from them because it's my friends rather than get licks from a 12-year-old who would tell me stop camping, you motherfucker, and I'd be like,
But were you
"You're
camping at
12
that
years
point
old.
in
You even supposed to be cussing. Yes, I camping, but oh god, you had to be cussing like this, small man."
Yeah, because I don't play enough with like my friends now, but I feel like if I play with my friends, then that might be a greater pull towards like the online gaming.
So that was the point I was actually coming back to, which was by yours saying, hey, download this game, we could play it together.
Yeah.
Was actually the main reason I powered on my PS4 for the first time in months, just to play a game.
And I got the PS Plus account also.
Sorry,
the PS Plus account as well.
PS Plus,
So
yeah.
Only 50 US.
Well, I just took a month.
Still 50 US.
Yeah.
Still
I
50
didn't,
US.
I didn't trust all man. I thought you were kind of flicky, so I
But
just
you
took
get
a,
free games.
I just took a 1 month thing.
Yeah.
But just the idea of being able to play together with a friend online
Yeah.
was kind of reason enough, because ordinarily I wouldn't really pick up the control and power.
Yeah, because it gives you that living room experience once again, where you like virtually sitting next to your friends
Well,
and playing a
close-
game and they can
close
interact.
enough. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
we
can
didn't-
talk to each other and stuff like that as well, right? So
Because Nacho and I had played the game, we didn't really use any kind of headset to say we had
Oh.
direct
Yeah,
communication.
we weren't talking.
But
well, I think that actually adds a lot to the experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
think that's just because we were
We were WhatsApping.
we were messaging via WhatsApp,
Yeah.
sending voice messages via WhatsApp.
Well, I mean, real
So-
ambidextrous and
No, this
Good
was
with the
this
fingers.
was
It's in between getting licks.
in between
Oh,
both again
I
licks
don't
from the online guys. We were sending messages back and forth saying, "Wow, we suck," basically.
Yeah.
But I just saying it was reason enough to say.
I thought all it was Guru. or something. He's the one with
That's not
multiple
how
hands, right?
you know. That's not a real life thing, right?
Wait, what? What,
People-
the 4 hands?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It's a character from a game.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just making a
You can't
joke.
prove that.
Fuck you by not show by.
You can't prove that.
All right, go. What DJ doesn't approve? All right. Okay.
Approve of Guru.
Of Guru. Your Guru is real too.
But he's not
I mean,
fucking
he not. He was an obstacle in life at some point. I'd say early 90s.
Right.
He was kind of yellow. I don't know if he had like some
And he could like
jaundice.
kick, and he could like do like up and kick.
You had to flip in, kick, flip back out, and then time him accordingly.
Oh.
He was like a boss in like a Mega Man game.
No, I used to wonder about Guru. Like,
Yeah.
did having forearms actually give him any real advantage?
And he's
In the
holding
game.
and hit your head out, isn't
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he's
that's
holding it like
true.
so, and then
Yeah.
so he
Well,
hold it with 2 arms, and then.
As a
on the
child, I
other
used to wonder, like, this man basically had 4 armpits, right? Like, what was his kind of consumption of deodorant and
Hey,
antiperspirant
boy.
in that case?
I was real
I
forward
mean,
thinking for a child, boy.
Yeah.
Well, I
was
don't
like-
think he
yeah.
would actually use deodorant.
I mean, you have 4 armpits, bro. You
He
have
used to
like,
live in a dungeon.
you have like 4 times the body odor.
He used to live in a
Yeah.
dungeon. I don't know if he used to really get out much thing.
Shit.
Ah,
Oh.
So
Alright, so I mean, the fact that he was in a dungeon might explain why he looked a little bit jaundiced.
yeah, he didn't get no sunlight and thing. So
Yeah, what you gonna do? Who's
Oh,
left?
yeah.
What's going on?
I think that was Kitaro.
Kintaro was in Mortal Kombat 2 with Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah,
Okay.
with Shah Rukh Khan.
Not Shah Rukh Khan.
Not Shah Rukh Khan. Wait. All right, I think we had that Mortal Kombat division, and I think we should come back.
So we come back to.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat
Um,
11 playing real good is what I said.
Sorry.
carry on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I take your word for it. I wouldn't buy it.
I bought
until-
10 and I regret it. But again, that's based on my situation. And the way I play games, I don't have time for like a 1v1 game.
I'll be honest. I
That's
was
it.
more of a
Yeah.
Street Fighter guy than a Mortal Kombat guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 were very fun for me, but from 3 when they introduced the cheats, and you could just basically do a 1-button fatality, we basically exhausted that game in a weekend, and there was no more appeal to that game afterwards.
So it wasn't toasty.
No,
No.
I wouldn't say so.
Alright. Okay.
We
What?
just
Alright.
All right.
you just grow like a tree there. Or?
So we done that.
Well, let me just move into
Flawless
I mean, we
victory.
touched on a bit of competitive gaming before, like in terms of the
on
arcade.
the drive,
Yeah.
on the drive, well, we were talking about competitive gaming.
Yeah.
In its current state, but not sure. What was you're a man who seemed to be gaming consistently regardless.
No,
of
no, just like
device.
consistently, yeah. But as a passive gamer, I mean,
Well, I wouldn't say competitively, but you have played games, on multiple devices, all the consoles that you have, your PS4, for your phone, and then I think you had invested in somebody's hand.
I have like a handheld emulator. Then
I think Nacho is a man who kind of fearful of the competitive gaming. He don't seem like a man who is actually trying to go out
Listen, I don't blame. I don't blame.
Alright,
and try
listen.
to
I don't
the
blame
game,
you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right, because like the last few games I enjoyed thoroughly was like the follow up to Uncharted 4 and Spider-Man, but that again is like a one player.
Was that a campaign?
Yeah,
No, I actually like the campaign games because automatically gives the game some kind of direction.
also Mortal 11. Just saying.
Well, I don't know about that, but like even like
As a
PS3,
good campaign.
PS4, I used to enjoy playing like some of the earlier Call of Duty, like the Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2,
Yeah, no, we talking.
because you had campaigns, and
Oh, yeah.
it was the appeal
He's not
was,
a fan of the
no,
game.
no, Black Ops. So I
the
have no
appeal was
campaign,
actually
you know.
never the multiplayer. The appeal for me was actually the campaign.
Nah, but
I don't know, just because there was a story to it, there was some direction to it, and there was some end point to it, and then usually after that. So even from the newer games that come afterwards, I'd play the campaign, and then go for the multiplayer afterwards.
Yeah, I did the same, but playing the campaign was just simply to just get in touch with the controls. It was more or less training for the multiplayer.
But some of my reservations might be similar to Natural in that.
Yeah.
I got my ass cut a few times by some 12-year-olds in Peru or wherever else. And
because like
I felt a bit embarrassed.
Modern Warfare 3, I jumped straight into multiplayer. Like, because like what I realized is like by me playing the campaign, I wasting time and then I'm leveling up, and by the time I jump out, like everybody will not be beginner anymore, and they were like real good guns, and they will like kill the shit out of me. So I say, let me just jump in one time, build up my level, so I could have decent guns, so I could do pretty well in the multiplayer. So that was my strategy.
So actually, I had
it's about gun control.
Yeah. What is it? The Second Amendment? I don't know.
Advanced Warfare on Xbox, and that was the one I think I probably spent the most time playing online, because that was the most current next gen console that I had, and compared to the PS3, this one was one of the ones where I had to pay for like online access or online subscription for like Xbox Gold, Xbox Live, where the matchmaking thing, and you could do it. PS3 was doing it for free, which was nice.
Yeah, initially.
They were doing it, yeah.
They kind of stopped.
Yeah,
but
because
the competitive gaming bots.
Street Fighter. When we played Street Fighter 4, that was free.
Yeah, I think for the PS3 you could still play online games, and it's just for the PS4.
Because
PS Plus.
Actually, after I got my PS4, not the PS4. Actually, the Xbox One, PS3, we were still playing. Yeah, I don't have all 8 consoles like what you have there, boss.
Xbox.
Yeah, on the Xbox, the
Xbox shit.
That's right.
Shitbox. Carry on.
Yeah, you were saying something. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no. Even when I had the Xbox, actually, set the PS3 at a different location. I was playing Modern Warfare 3, and it was free. And I was like, "Hey, we'd have to pay for this. This was nice."
Wait, what was the Xbox game that was like real popular that they used to sell the Xbox? Halo, yeah. You never sweat Halo?
I play Halo, but I thought the game.
It's not Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Halo was the main one.
The pace of the game just didn't seem as like fast as like Call of Duty series. Because Call of Duty was a series I was actually playing since PC days, from Call of Duty 1,
right.
2, and then I think 3 was Modern Warfare, like the first Modern Warfare.
4 was Modern Warfare.
I could, I stand correct.
Modern Warfare is where I actually got into that series. I didn't play the World War II stuff,
and it was actually decent. It was actually decent.
Yeah. No, to bring it back into this competitive gaming world, because like other than like Modern Warfare, much of what we discussed before doesn't fall into competitive gaming. Because when you're looking at competitive gaming at the highest level now, we're talking about what is that game again? By League of
Legends.
Yeah. League of Legends is like the top competitive game right now. Then you have things like Dota, Overwatch, I guess Call of Duty games.
Well, the Call of Duty is not as competitive as League of Legends.
Exactly.
And,
so then
CS:GO and PUBG.
Right. Exactly. So you have these teams now. So there are actually people who have a career in gaming. Have career gamers, and playing game is their life. So in League of Legends, for instance, like there are different tiers based on what I understand. Different tiers of leagues, and the top league is where you actually have to go and live in Germany in a house. So your team would be living in a gaming house. These guys would be training like 10 to 12 hours per day with their teammates, having meetings in terms of strategy. They have a coach, they have a manager, they have sponsors, and that is the level of gaming. They are paid a salary of like about 25 grand a year or some shit like that. Or is it a month? I'm not sure, but they're paid a salary.
They're well paid.
They have endorsements and stuff like that. And the viewership of this thing, I mean, it was estimated like around a little less than 500 million tune in to watch live streams of gaming and tune into eSports and that kind of thing.
Was this for a specific tournament, or is this for like
I think it was the top league. I think it was like the League of Legends finals or something like that. Like that many people. Maybe not like 500 million. I think it was like about more like close to 400 million people tuned in or something to look at that, which is like more than any other sporting event. Maybe other than the World Cup, maybe.
What do you mean? Like real world sports?
Real world sports. Like other than the World Cup, maybe, because I mean the World Cup, I mean that would bring in like a lot more people. But like even the revenue that's coming in though, other than like NFL, I think when you combine like NBA, MLS, and NHL and stuff like that, eSports is actually generating more revenue than those three sports combined. So there's a lot of money being made in eSports. I think it's being recognized as almost as relevant as real sports in that you have managers, coaches, training.
So you
goes
said
into that.
NBA and NFL as well?
Yeah. Not NFL, NBA. NBA, MLS.
Okay.
I checked it. I checked the stats on the way down. It's not NFL. NFL has a lot bigger following than esports right now.
Okay.
Right?
But maybe for now.
For now.
For now, you don't know. You know.
We don't know. But like it's certainly more than NHL, MLS, and NBA.
That's impressive. I guess
Combined, yeah.
I guess because they have a lot of followers or fans over in huge countries like China, Korea.
So yeah, Asia
Yeah.
is big. Like so about 50-something% of the followers and viewers will be from Asia.
Right.
Yeah, and they have like stadiums and dedicated to watch esports and stuff now.
Wow. So
Like in Hong Kong.
So the nerds is actually the sports stars.
Yeah, because
Well, it's a big change from what you would have thought, you know, from let's say 20 years ago to now. Like, who would have thought you could actually get paid and make money playing video games, you know, or streaming video games, or commentating on video games? Like,
If
who'd
I
have
knew
thought?
that, my life would be
You'd
much
have had
different.
a
now.
very different career direction.
Yeah.
you'd say.
no. Well, what I was seeing like in some of the documentaries I was looking at is like what kind of changed gaming to make it more like an actual sport was like someone called like shoutcasters. So it's like basically the person who is commentating on the game now. So they will like hype up certain parts and all that sort of thing. So it makes it easier to follow
Right.
and makes it more exciting to follow. And I mean, like think about looking at a sport. For those of you who look at sport,
Sports are good.
yeah, think
Go
about like
sports.
looking at video
sports.
without like good commentating. It's gonna be like kind of dead now. It's not gonna come to life as much. So like by having commentating on games and thing now, you sort of like kind of legitimize it as a sport in itself, because now you have commentary and you have teams, you have people who are fans of it, and you know there's certain like what I say by affinity to certain teams, and you're wearing jerseys and you know the names, like this guy from one of the esports team, Double Lift or something, that's supposed to be like one of the biggest e-gamers in the world and stuff like that. Like people are fans of him and wear his jersey like they would wear like a Messi football jersey
Or John Cena.
if that was a real sport. But that's what I'm saying. So
this
like
is not wrestling.
Yeah.
It's a big thing apparently.
no, but yeah, I mean, and they're filling out arenas. Like so, you would
I think
have
this is
like
wrestling
an
podcast. We'll have more listener.
of fans coming to watch a friggin' live game competition where people that's on their keyboards playing games and it on the screens like if it was like a real sport.
I mean,
real
which is
sport,
a very
sport game.
interesting shift, because it's like I was telling you on the way here, you know, I think I'd actually prefer to play the game than watch somebody play a game.
Yeah.
Yet, in 2019, like some of the biggest streamers or some of the most subscribed channels on YouTube actually just are gamers streaming.
Yeah.
You know, things like platforms like Twitch and so on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
True.
so there's a lot of people actually just tuning in to watch people play these games.
Yep.
I personally probably wouldn't sit down to watch somebody play a game,
No.
but
No, but
it just goes to show that there's a lot of people who
yeah, because it's
into
like
that kind of thing.
it's like watching a match now. So it's like watching a football game. Like
Yeah.
me sitting down to watch a football game because that's interesting to me. For some people, they play games, they're interested in games, and they want to see like the best people play games. So that's interesting to them.
Right.
So the actual game now becomes a sport. And I mean, I was telling DJ this coming down. Like the people who own the sport and benefit the most of it would be the developers. Because if you create League of Legends, the sport is League of Legends. Like, you actually own the sport by being the developer.
Right.
So anybody who plays or any event dealing with League of Legends or anything like that, like, that is of direct benefit to you. And that's why they say, like, the biggest benefactors of gaming right now would be, well, competitive
Developer.
gaming would be the developers.
But I say that developer has a lot to gain by getting the game bigger, getting more popular, because it means they have the potential for getting more people to play the game or buy
Yeah.
the game and play it.
Yeah.
You know, so they stand to benefit anyhow they take it.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. But it not only benefited from the sales, I think they benefited more from this whole sort of competition culture of, like, having leagues where, you know, you have people coming out and, like, viewing the event, having little expos and that kind of thing, gaming expos and that kind of shit, where you have people who pay to actually come out and watch certain events and that kind of thing. And also the streamers as well, because they could sponsor certain segments, sponsor certain streamers, and earn advertising revenue as a result of that. I think gaming now is a career, right? So, like, when you were playing games back in your bedroom with your little console and that kind of thing, and having fun and that kind of thing.
We're talking about
It was always-
I think Nacho Man's still playing games in his bedroom
No.
today.
No, but what I'm saying is that, like, your parents would say, hey,
Come off, yeah,
come off
get
the
up,
game,
go read
boy.
up, go
Come off
study.
that game, boy. Go and study.
Yeah.
Go and read a book or some kind of thing like that. You're wasting your time. You're going to damage your eyes or some kind of thing like that. But now, like, you actually have parents who supporting their children. You have universities in the US that are actually dedicated to gaming. They have gaming teams. So you could go to college and be part of a gaming team. You could get a scholarship for gaming. That's the level we reach. So, like, you could play game for a living. Like, imagine that. Like, back then, think about your teenager self playing games with a limited number of hours, trying to steal a few hours to play in the night and then when your parents sleeping, to now, hey, I could play games full time.
So how this works out is that basically we should have stayed dedicated to the cause, and we should have stuck with it, you know, and started competing earlier in life. How to realize, because we would have been like some of the original bunch of gamers. Maybe not so much me personally, but Nacho here was gaming since the early 80s, mid 80s.
Mid
You know.
I don't
to
think
late.
gaming mattered like when we were playing games. Like, it didn't matter as much because, like, it wasn't connected. So we could have been very good gamers, but nobody would know that you were a good gamer.
But I think some of the key of it is actually just
So-
being consistent, though, because
Yeah.
you know what makes the difference. No, I think a lot of it has to do with like your reflexes, your reaction time, and so on. Which, so I think I got a lot of licks in some of those games, like
Yeah.
you know, Advanced Warfare, because with age and maybe just not being in it all the time, you kind of lose some of that
Right.
reflex or that reaction time
Right,
that
so-
you would have had.
So that's question now. That's question I'm coming with. What's the age of these athletes? What do you call them?
They're young.
Athletes.
They're like about teens or early 20s.
Oh. So they would have started training like recently. I mean, like
Yeah.
within this decade, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, they would have had to start at least when they were teenagers.
Right.
But if they were born in like late 90s, early 2000s, it is safe to assume that they would have had some kind of interaction with games from, you know, early on. Because
Yeah. No, in terms of parents supported them to make that choice to be athletes. So.
No, they would have to be playing it. So, but like, for League of Legends, for instance, right? They were saying, like, the learning curve for that, like, extremely, like, high now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, to be good at it, you have to spend, like, a considerable number of hours on it. Like 10 and 12 hours just kind of playing that game to kind of learn the nuances or build up that kind of skill level and knowledge of the game now. It's not something like you could be born with certain dexterity and say, well, all right, cool. There's a
Well,
lot of strategy that goes into some of those games now.
you'll probably have
Yeah.
some outliers who would be like that. But I'm just thinking, like most children who are very impressionable or malleable in that sense, like the earlier they become exposed to a certain skill set
Yeah.
or in that, the easier easier it is for them to kind of hone out throughout life. So if you start training from a very young age to be like a gymnast or something, you maintain like a certain level of flexibility throughout life, mobility throughout life. So same thing with games. If you start game at a specific level, you should be able to maintain it once you're doing it.
But
consistently.
I don't get the sense that like parents see that as like a legitimate outlet for your child, like you would push them in that direction. I see it more like happening in the reverse, where like your child starts playing video games, they seem to be proficient at it, and then you are sort of like the parent where you say, well, all right, cool, this could be a future. You understand it enough to say, well, all right, cool.
Are you saying as based in like Trinidad only, or
no,
like universally?
This is like global. I think like, but then it's difficult to actually move out of Trinidad, like I would think, in gaming, and then reach like where I think you have to be in the right location as well. Because I don't think like what would be, I don't know what the gaming scene or the competitive gaming scene in Trinidad is like, but I mean like what would be your route towards like say the highest level and playing in like the top league of Legends like?
Well, I think you'd have to start out from a very young age. Now, the thing about gaming is that you really have to have any kind of prior qualifications. You have to go to school and have like a certain level of education to be able to play a game. You could actually just be taught a game from the game tutorial. Funny enough. And then you could probably build on that. Now, I'm not saying disregard education at any kind of level. Just saying it requires less technical knowledge initially. And maybe a lot of just intuition or being able to feel out a specific game, just like what we're talking about.
Experience will kind of
where some people could just feel out a controller and know exactly what's happening when they whatever the input on the controller was happening on the screen. They could kind of see like a direct correlation between those two things and basically adjust their input or their moves to suit.
Yeah, but what is the competitive gaming in Trinidad like now? Because I know of some people who...
I don't know. I know that there's a local gaming community, so
there are competitions, but it's not for League of Legends.
Or Dota or something like that.
Dota,
It might be for Dota, but is that on a competitive level? Because we have a close friend who plays Dota, and I think he did mention having like LAN parties with friends where they would all come together and they'd bring their own machines and play this game competitively. I don't know if they were competing as a team locally against other challengers, or
I think that's what they do.
Were they playing locally against
themselves? They bring machines together, they can like network and play in the house?
No, they like to make it online too. I don't know. I have a lot of things about Dota I don't understand, but I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't understand it.
I don't know anything about it. But like
Dota is done competitively in a big way here, but they're actually official competitions for other games, like more the fighting games that they have locally, and they seem to have good enough turnouts and that kind of thing.
But does anybody from Trinidad like go up to like say the States or something like that and compete?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean how it's structured now with the competitive gaming, especially with like League of Legends and thing, is that you would have like lesser leagues that eventually will move up into the top league, and then you move to Germany, you live in a house.
Was that only Germany?
No.
We have other places. No. I understand what you're saying, because I think the winner of last year's Dota, was it one of these games? Was actually he's like with like an Asian name, but I think he was trained in Germany, so it could be from the exact same house.
What's it extreme, like in terms of like you actually have everybody must move to Germany once they reach that league now. So it's not like you choose to not move.
Was it more of like a team then?
No, it's a requirement. Like if you're playing in league, you had to move to that particular country. No, I mean they actually like have to set up there's a requirement of that particular league where you must be situated in Germany and live in one of the houses for the teams and that kind of shit, and train there and operate from there and then participate in the league. Like that is an actual requirement. Should we go through our best games like of all time in terms of our own experience, just to kind of
should I prepare for that one though?
Some closure. I thought about it, and that's why I also thought about this question.
that's a hard question though. Which one? Top 5?
we could go top 5. I was just thinking top 3 or something. Top 3. That's the kind
Top
of
3
limited.
is
Yeah.
even harder. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, how we
Yeah,
did?
it's like a it's cheap.
Well, DJ Ballhead. I'll go say DJ Nacho. DJ Ballhead just now give me some scorpion pepper cheese here.
It's from the
Calveley Mill.
yeah,
Love cheese. Love Calveley Mill.
I think they're from
Love
Holland.
your love a burning asshole as well. So sorry Nacho. That hit you kind of.
Nacho have like a knife.
Nacho has been
It's
going through.
insensitive.
Yeah, Nacho has been going through his own burning asshole situation.
Nacho just give us a
last
knife so we could
weekend
like
or so.
chip off some of this slice in here. Yeah.
So we're gonna try this cheese here. I'm just gonna take like a little touch of it here. So what it looks like is
I know how it tastes. I mean, I'll take one.
It
I'll take a
looks
piece if you
like an asshole burn.
yeah. I mean, it looks kind of cream in color with some pieces of.
It looks
red
looks
pepper.
very well seasoned. And I don't mean salt and pepper seasoned.
I
mean
hope
like,
that the scorpion to cheese ratio, scorpion pepper to cheese ratio is very
I
low.
think you should probably take a smaller piece at,
Oh,
in that case.
so we're gonna try this here.
Seriously concerned here.
Okay. Definitely get any scorpion
Yeah,
one time.
Yeah.
As it
How's-
usually escalates.
How's the flavor? How's the
Yeah, actually, good flavor.
flavor? Alright. You describe flavor as good cheese.
It's good cheese. It's good cheese.
What's that expression in your face?
That's from the pepper burn in my fucking mouth. It actually it's not that bad though.
No, but it's very,
Not
very,
bad.
very, very
Yeah.
hot.
I'm on a
Then you could try it.
I'm on a cleanse right now.
It's actually not that bad. I'd probably like a cracker with it to kind of like balance it off a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Right, but not that bad. Like, okay, so now that cheese tasting is over. I mean, I don't know, DJ, you have any comments on the cheese?
It's hot.
Yeah,
Hot like wow.
but
I'm
not
surprised
intolerable.
they-
Not
I'm
intolerable.
Hey, thanks, man. I'm surprised they make this in Holland, because I don't feel like in Holland they have that high tolerance for pepper, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Nah, they have like a
If you have any
large
person-
Surinamese
If you have any person from Holland listening, in
well, I think they have a large Surinamese population in Holland, and Surinamese food tend to have like a certain level of heat. So, back to the question at hand.
burning question.
To
Top
wrap this
3
up.
games, Nacho. What are you going
Top
with
3
Nacho?
games.
Three
Or
games.
5 on this
all
if you want to
time.
pick.
Some version or any or all versions of Street Fighter 2 would be number 3. Number 2 would be probably the Streets of Rage series. And 1 is Sonic 102. And 1 and or 2. It's kind of hard because it's kind of like series I'm talking about here, not specific games.
All right, my top 3. I'll go with Diablo 1 PC. Then I'll go with Black Ops 1, the original. And then the third one kind of hard for me. I just thinking about games I spend like a lot of time on.
Well, you can go like
Yeah.
a top 5. You don't have to have any. You don't have to limit it to 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so much is a hard
the
question.
yeah,
hard
Uncharted, like Uncharted 3.
Like that.
Yeah, because I didn't play 4 yet. I don't know if Uncharted 4 better than 3, but
In my opinion, 4 is better, and that should be my top 5.
Uncharted 3. So that would be my top 3. Yeah.
I think what I have to go with. I don't really have to think about this one. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and I might say Super Mario World just for like nostalgic value, because my cousins and I spent like so much time trying to play this game. In recent times, I might say the Call of Duty series, so maybe like 1 and 2 on PC. And probably the most recent game I probably spent the most time playing was actually Forza Horizon 2, because it just felt like that much of an escape.
That's the racing simulator.
It's a racing simulator, but they recreated that feel of Europe so well, and like the soundtrack was just nice, and just like a nice Sunday afternoon kind of game to play, and I'd get lost while I was playing.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
I got a real experience with soundtrack on Europe.
If you had to give like notable mentions,
Notable mentions.
Virtua Fighter series.
I'd actually like Prince of Persia, like, well, PS Persia and Sands of Time. That rewinding thing was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You gotta do shit and then rewind
And
it.
Super Mario Bros. 3 is also one of the best.
Oh,
games
yeah,
ever.
yeah. I mean,
Super Mario Bros.
It was
was
just
actually a real good game, but
yeah.
I never owned it, so I never really got to spend time to play it, and that's why Super Mario was probably like the one afterwards. Why I think it's like a game is because I have gone back and played it a few times afterwards.
Yeah. Super Mario Bros. 3 was one that, I mean, we never owned it either, but there's a neighbor right up the road there who had it, so we pretty much used to live there for our
Rich.
August holidays.
Yeah.
Like everybody
Because
knew
they
that.
had the game, yeah.
Yeah.
Zelda was a game I just went back to and played multiple times on Super
Now, I
Nintendo.
remember Zelda and
Played multiple times on emulators on PC.
yeah.
And I haven't played it on the SNES Classic, but I probably will. Just
I actually
I think
remember
I'm saving
playing.
it for like a special time.
Yeah.
I actually remember playing Zelda on SNES. That was like the
Full
first time I
disclosure, I
played.
never played a Zelda game.
Oh, serious?
No.
No, that was.
I
that
know,
was
I
really
know
good.
it's something I should
Again,
work
it was
on.
one of those games in that time where you didn't have YouTube, and you didn't have the internet, right? And all these things you had to kind of figure out by trying, because there are a lot of puzzles in this game. So you have to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Wait, we didn't even say God of War, as you mentioned.
The
Puzzles, yeah.
It will get on. It
That
will
would
get
have been,
on.
yeah,
honorable
that game
mention.
changed the game right there.
Yeah.
But it was one of those games where you would get through by talking to somebody, or I think the same friend from primary school actually had like a guide, like a Nintendo Power guide to Legend of Zelda, and you have to could read through it, but it would tell you like some of the very specific details of the game to what what to do to get
Very
through.
wealthy friend he had.
He was well off. I
Yeah.
wouldn't lie. He wasn't from Palmist, so he wasn't that wealthy, but who is?
Yeah,
I mean,
God of War was like a real fun hack and slash,
exactly. Yeah.
and
and had the puzzle.
Yeah, the
element,
puzzles as well, yeah.
Crazy puzzle element to that.
Yeah.
I think the next best thing after Mario would have been something like Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation.
I was saying.
Sonic was okay. Sonic 2. Sonic
It
and
was
Tails.
okay.
Yeah, it was decent. It was chaotic. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I think Nacho and DJ gone.
My cousin, who's
Fuck each other up
a friend
after
of
this podcast.
Nacho's, had a Sega Genesis, so
Yeah.
she had some of those games.
Oh, she know good thing. Okay.
She only had 3 games, and then I would play most of them, and she didn't really play the console much after that. So it was most,
Okay, so
probably more me.
Nacho face is becoming bright red. You can see it through
No,
his
no,
beard.
everybody's entitled to their wrong opinion. So.
Yeah. so
So it was a fun game. It was a fun game. Super Street Fighter 2 on that console wasn't, all that because of the sound chip.
The
that was
sound boy,
terrible,
yeah.
Fighting games at Street Fighter series, hands down.
So, any final thoughts about gaming?
I'll actually ask you this because some more close doors were actually on the future of gaming.
Yeah.
Seeing as you're the only one here with a child,
Yeah.
what
you.
would you,
Yeah.
congrats. Like where
Sorry, unbreaking.
Where would you now, knowing all these things, try to fit gaming into his life, growing up?
So, I mean, right now we play games, right? So, right now we had the Sonic that came out on PlayStation Network. So, right now he's playing that a lot.
Right. And he's
So-
able to, like, he has the dexterity to play it. And
Not really.
no.
'Cause I
But,
think
but if he started at this age or something, that he could easily
he
develop.
could easily get because, like,
Yeah.
what I realize is, like, the younger kids, like, especially, like, in cutting, they, like, cut my ass, like, real easy. So, I think, like, these youths have, like, much better dexterity and understanding of the game and that kind of thing. But, like, no, I guess because the size of his hands, it's difficult to kind of really hold the controller and, like, press the buttons and stuff like that. But, like, weird enough, like, I find, like, with Sonic, like, he actually moving relatively well now. It's, like, only, like, sitting, like, jumps or something that he having a hard time making. But, like, he could maneuver pretty well now with Sonic. So, like, I think, like, he should have, like, certain exposure to gaming. I mean, that was part of my life. I didn't get, like, screwed up or anything like that playing, like, Mario or SNES or something.
He's like, what, 3 years
He's, like,
old?
3 years now.
So, like,
4.
but
Like, a
his-
lot earlier than I was, like, before I...
For sure. So,
Yeah.
but he would have exposure to, like, a PS4 right
yeah,
now.
that PS4 right now.
And, like, any mobile
games.
gaming. Like,
Does he do mobile game? He mostly does like looking at stuff. So like he's actually look at people playing games in some instances.
right.
Like right now, and he find that real entertaining. But like we limit it. So I don't like sometimes he'll ask me he wanna play like Sonic or whatever like that. So we'll play like a half an hour or an hour. Tell him I'll use it as like a kind of way of negotiating him negotiating with him to go and bathe now. So you play like one game or something, and then you go and bathe after or something.
Right.
And then he cool with that. But
But at this age, he's able to understand what's happening on screen, like
I
winning
think
or
he just
losing.
sees everything as
you
like
know,
fun and funny
Right.
and that kind of thing. So I don't think he really understand. Like I don't know, like
like
some people
losing
would,
coins or losing rings, I should say.
yeah, or some people would speak to like violence and that kind of thing, like game violence. I don't think he really understand violence. I think like he just kind of understand what like, all right, cool, this is happening right now and whatever,
Right.
and it's like that kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, something that we didn't really cover as much is like the link to like violence, especially gun violence, and in terms of gaming, because every time there's like mass shooting, it comes back to like whether or not people play like first person shooters or Call of Duty and that kind of thing.
I think there's a very poor correlation between the two, though. Like,
Yeah.
Terrible correlation. Nobody take a PlayStation controller, walk into a school and shoot anybody with it.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
And these things tend to be in countries where you have very liberal gun laws, like the US.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's most likely troubled or mentally unstable individuals or somebody with like an agenda or something, as opposed to like somebody who playing video games and want to act it out in real life.
Yeah. So I think video games are still very much relevant. For me right now, it's just really for fun or for hobby. Sometimes it can be a bit of an escape to kind of just get out of my mind from normal everyday or day-to-day activities. Actually started playing a game on PC recently called Division 2. I never got into Tom Clancy games, but this one actually kind of, had me invested like a certain nights a week playing it. And this is how I know if a game is good. If I'll actually just kind of get hooked in it within the first few hours of playing it.
What kind of game is that?
It is a kind of first-person shooter, but with like a RPG kind of thing. So you have a lot of missions going on.
Okay, yeah.
That kind of thing. So a lot of the points and so on. Something we didn't mention before, but what we talked about coming on here was just the layers or complications I find that games have now with respect to leveling up, modifying your characters, and trying to find new characters.
Progression.
Which things that were fairly straightforward in like older games. Now that's not something I really care for, but I guess some of it in the game is just kind of forced upon you that you have to do it.
Yeah.
But in someone like the fine details, I don't see myself something I'll meddle with. But yeah, so far it's a fun game. And, I think I will keep gaming as long as I could.
Yeah, I think what happens with the decision to game now is that there's a lot of other things that compete for our time. Like for me, like family and that kind of thing. But also, we have social media. We have a lot of content coming out in like streaming media as well. Yeah, like Netflix and Amazon and that kind of thing. So you have like new shows coming out that you could view on demand. So it's like, how do you spend your time now? Like, do you spend your time gaming, or do you spend your time watching a new series or stuff like that? So there's a lot of competing interests now for entertainment that you now have to kind of budget your time to determine, all right, how is my time best spent? Like watching a series or gaming and that kind of thing.
Well, I find was actually interesting what you're saying is that from what you've just said is that you actually get to merge family time with game time if you get your son involved,
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see how this goes over like the next decade or so, where gaming with your kid is like a way of spending time or quality time with them, and something that I don't see being a bad thing, because if you could just sit down and share that kind of experience together.
Yeah, unless you play like Black Ops or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. You gotta play that, because like I actually had like a nephew came up and like asked him what game he playing. I know he have like a PS4 now, and he was like Grand Theft Auto. I was like, how you playing Grand Theft Auto? Because this child is like about like 10 years old now.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's that about? So I think maybe there's like more like education on the part of like parents to kind of understand like all gaming is not just gaming. Like gaming, it has some content in it that may not be best appropriate for your child at this point in time. So as far as possible, like I'll play games with him, but like if I really wanted to play like a certain game and it was not appropriate, then I wouldn't be able to like share that experience. So I think there's a sort of limit in terms of the experience based on the games and how appropriate it is for the particular age group.
Yeah. Nacho, you on gaming, where you all going from here?
Gaming for me was always a very relaxing thing, but also a social thing. There was always a social element to gaming for me. I think the future of gaming still has that social element is going kind of next level, where you have virtual worlds that exist in, and you're going to integrate virtual reality into it, and it's going to be very social. However, I think that sitting next to somebody, playing with them, whether competitively or cooperatively, should not be overlooked, and the future gaming should incorporate some games that has that element, that has that face-to-face contact. When you lose, you can actually throw your controller at somebody.
Well, it helps that it's wireless now, so
Oh yes, more range.
easy to trade.
Okay.
But like that situation, I see might work out well where, if you have a spouse who's also in the game, and can sit down together and play that. Maybe for your kids, they have siblings or cousins around the same age, you can kind of share that experience. Now, personally, I don't know. I don't really have that many people around me who will game that can say, "Hey, come on, let's play a game." And then now it kind of just tends to be on, like Dan was saying, on your free time, which might sometimes be like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
So
we're
now
getting older and having responsibilities. It's a little bit easy. It's a little bit more difficult to fit that in.
Yeah.
No, but
It would be nice. I wish, but
back to Nacho's point though, because like, I had some nephews who came across my house recently, and they were playing like that new that car racing game that they have in PS4 now. Can't remember the name of it. But you could like verse each other now. So like it was 3 of them, and they were like rotating controllers, like when I keep the controller and that kind of thing. And they were sweating up, and they were like so happy standing in front of the screen and like challenging each other and like jumping up, and like the kind of excitement like I see now. Like, I'm not sure if that will translate the same in the online world now, because like you're alone, like you're playing against someone in real time, but you're not sharing it
that
together.
Yeah.
So like that was real interesting to me, because I know one of them have a PlayStation and he plays regularly, but the other 2 of them, I don't think they have a console. So they were like playing it for the first time and whatever and that kind of thing. But then the guy who actually had a console, I don't think he would ever be that happy playing that game alone.
True. I think that's probably true. Yeah.
Gaming is good. Continue to game. Also get your exercise. Take your vitamins. And parents out there should be aware of what their children playing. However, they should take responsibility in a way that would allow us to support the argument that video games does not promote gun violence.
I think there are a lot of positive aspects to gaming, but even with having like a strong online gaming community, it's still not going to substitute for actual real world experiences. So don't get lost in it, and don't confuse the virtual world for the real world. But otherwise, game on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say something similar, because I mean, like, there are so many experiences that you could have in the world, and I mean, gaming is one of them, definitely. I mean, it allows you to communicate and interact with a bunch of people now, particularly with the online setting, with people that you never would have interacted with. But at the same time, there's also a lot of things happening in the world out there. So, I mean, like, have a balance. Like, look at your level of enjoyment and what you're getting from either or, and have that balance now. Like, if you find like you're sort of drifting towards more into like online gaming or something like that, maybe you just need to like check yourself a little bit and let's think about it, like the level of satisfaction you getting from this versus like some of the other things that you could potentially get satisfaction from. And yeah, but enjoy life. I mean, you have access to like everything now, but just make sure like it's kind of like the right balance, and you are maximizing living real and in the real world and in the virtual.
All right.
Oh yeah.
And that brings us to the end.
So that's the end for this week. I should say this month. Maybe join us back next time when we discuss something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
as we drink something else.
We don't know. Yeah, I think next time we do Pisco.
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 But if you have any distilleries out there who would like their their beverage reviewed,
I mean, if any of our listener could,
if any one of our
refer
listeners
us to-
could
If you have a bottle in your cabinet and you're not sure, like you wanted to open it and you need someone to review it before.
here's your chance.
Here's a
Here's a
chance.
chance
to get back half of that bottle.
all right, till next time.
Peace out, Tupac.
Metallica.